Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another combined 11 with the rivals and a first time, a debutant. Listen. We don't do if, buts, maybes. We do absolutes.
Woo! Coming out here looking like a Ric Flair, but the Scouse Ric Flair, you see me.
Come on.
That wearing a Scouse accent. But Matisse, it is a pleasure to be on the channel. Thank you for getting me on. And first time for everything, hopefully the first of many. And look at us two looking cosy. I mean, I suppose we have to hide ourselves at the moment with the performance of the teams, but we'll try and somehow, in the name of sweet Nancy Francis, get a combined 11 out of these monstrosities of what we're seeing at the moment.
It's gonna be incredible. I mean, listen, we're all cozy in our little dressing gowns. We're cozy mid-table. We ain't gonna get relegated. Everything's looking good at the moment. I don't know about any sort of success in the league in terms of
touch wood on the relegation, Matisse. Touch wood on the relegation, my G. We've seen mad things happen. You just don't know.
Still not at the 40-point mark, and I thought
that's what I mean, lad. You need to make sure that you get over the boundary, innit?
100%. And I thought there's no better way to do this than a little combined 11, but to do it on form. Because usually when two juggernauts come together, massive institutions come together in a game like this, it's tantalizing, it's tasty, it's tremendous, it's what people want to see. But then the form that we're bringing into this game, usually people are fighting amongst each other. Oh, I want to get my guy in. This one on form, I don't know who's going to be playing.
Nah, I'm not going to lie, lads. I reckon we're still going to, batter us on this,
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think your team has built enough prestige for the chat, but we'll see. Actually,
I mean, listen, last season we went to both cup finals together, penalty shootouts. It was close. We drew at Anfield. Then obviously this season you're trying to copy us again with this position in the table. We've been trying to be the worst.
Do you know what I was like? Do you know what I do? No, do you know what I do? I know, yeah, we're just flipping a coin. You know what I mean? And arm wrestling who wants to be the shittest. This really is a battle on who puts in the least effort. I really do believe that. I believe that the team who just puts in the least effort. I know that's a very Michael the other way, don't you? When it's two winning teams, it's whoever puts the most effort. But in this case, it's really about who's content with the position that they're in and who really wants to change it. And that's where I believe the battle comes. And one other point you made there about last season in the finals, me and Saeed, shout out to Saeed, but fucking hell, some of the things, I know his point on Thomas Tuchel, and I laughed my ass off when Thomas Tuchel went, but I also laughed for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but that was different. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was like, I was actually upset to see him go. I was happy to see Thomas Tuchel go. There's a difference.
Because he can compete at the top stage.
He's a bastard, and tactically, here's the thing, Matisse. I know that the football might have not always been exciting. It was very much efficient. He won 3 trophies with Chelsea, and I don't care if it was the Super Cup and the club, the trophies, and then 2 penalty shootouts away from making that 5.
Nearly 5 trophies in 18 months, nearly 2 years. So
I think people were harsh on Thomas Tuchel, and I'm happy to see the back of him because we never beat him.
Yeah,
while he was Chelsea manager.
When we do this combined 11, you talk about how you think you're going to be able to squeeze in more players. I've been watching your team. That's the beautiful thing about this. I've been microscope vision on this team, and listen, it hasn't been good. And then I've been looking at us, and we've been worse. But then you guys want to go to Brighton, and
do you know what I've been watching? Do you know what I've been watching this season? Arsenal, lads. I've been watching Arsenal. You know what I mean? Your favourite team. Because, lad, they're sick of footy. I'm a football fan. I'm a Liverpool fan first and foremost. But second of all, I'm a massive football fan. I'm a big advocate for learning more about football. I love education. I love the history. And I also love the anticipation of the future. And Arsenal right now really do look like a really promising prospect. Here's the thing. The Premier League can change overnight. I'm not saying they're going to make a dominating era, but this team right now that they've got, very exciting team.
No, it's true, man. They are playing some liquid stuff. I saw them against Tottenham. I was more angry with the tactics that Conte used, if anything, because he went so, it was so naive to play 2 in midfield versus their 3, sometimes 4 of Zinchenko tucking in.
It's just one of those things, isn't it? It doesn't work well.
It was a suicidal system. It was a sacking system. It made me sick system, and it maybe took away a bit from my praise for them, but For us, big game at Anfield, 12:30 kickoff. Are the Reds in the Cop End going to be awake and ready for the atmosphere? It's going to be interesting to see. You guys got home advantage. Before we get into the combined 11, confidence. What is your confidence, James? Because the form for us is mad. Both of us have been beaten and bruised. Even when you guys have won against Leicester, it's been a little bit fortuitous. The goals coming from FaZe Clan, FaZe Banks, FaZe, whoever you want to call him. Do you know what I mean? He's been shutting in the own goals. And then Brentford and Brighton and us, we've had, loads of defeats all season. What's your confidence levels?
Oh, it's a great question. All over the gaff. How do you set a confidence level to a precise place on the bar when the team aren't setting a precise consistency when it comes to performances? It just, to me, it's hard to align an expectation with this team at the moment. I don't know if we're going to be battling for Europa League, Conference League or top half, or I don't know what we're competing for. I have a very good feel. The football and logic inside of me says we're not going to get relegated, or nor are we going to be competing for relegation. But anything beyond that, Matisse, I genuinely couldn't tell you. If I'm going based off logic, but based on performance, effort. I've watched select few games on Chelsea. I've watched a few games of Chelsea, to be fair, but not all of them, so I understand with the progression of Graham Potter's time there. I'm sure there's maybe changes. I'm not too sure. Yeah. That being said, confident, no. Do I believe we can win, though? Of course, but that's purely due to the fact that you're not great yourselves.
Yeah, I think this is this game's got a draw written all over it, most likely. But both teams...
Do you know why I don't think it does? Because before we were, under Tuchel, you became more competitive, but you'd still consider Liverpool the superior team. And I feel like because we were the superior team, there was an element where you felt the underdog factor, and Chelsea just always turned up against Liverpool no matter what. The Kovacic goal was absolutely insane.
Yeah, like even in that game, we came from behind.
One of the greatest goals that I've ever seen scored. That was brilliant. But no, that's why I'm happy to see the back of Tuchel, and because he's not the manager no more, I can see it being a bit more of an open affair. That doesn't mean I say we win. Yeah. I'm saying one way or the other, I think maybe a team capitalises.
Yeah, Potter's got a big job to do on this top 6 record as well since he's come in. Let's start with the goalkeeper.
Right, okay, all you Chelsea fans who watch into this YouTube channel, how dare any of you ever compare Mendy to Alisson, by the way, you absolute disgraceful fools.
Who did that?
If you go and watch a Lab Bible video of me and Rory Jennings, he weren't the one who done it, but it was Madman. No, in fact, he did do it. And then Steve the Madman agreed, the pussy-o. And I love Steve the Madman. He agreed. It was like he was the decider. He got to choose Alisson or Mendy. And he chose Mendy. Crazy Matisse. So all I'm saying is that Mendy done really well when he was starting at Chelsea. I actually think he can make him a resurgence, but I'm glad that you've apologised on behalf of some of your fan base. Thank you.
I had to be done because I'm so but on form. I mean, on form,
Alisson's been great.
Has he been great? I've seen him.
Fair enough. Last 2 games, he's been a little bit seedy, but I promise you, Matisse, take my scouse word for this. Before those couple of mistakes, I promise you, bro, he was saving us games. Yeah. He was one-on-ones, everything in between. The biggest influence in this team so far. Yeah. The only player to maintain standards.
Yeah, Kepa's been a bit ropey on form. Last game, man, the match, maybe you could say, along with Ziyech against Palace, but he's also had some moments as well. So he's had some moments. He let a ball right past him as well for a goal in Stamford Bridge. So I'm going to give this definitely Alisson because I think out of all the players, if we're talking about on form over the whole season, which is what we got to do, Alisson's been pretty much one of your only guys that you could say hang your hat on as being, solid. And it's going to be players obviously that are fit and ready to play as well. So right back, Reece James is injured. Aspilicueta, I wouldn't throw in because I'm not very impressed. Trent. He's been he's been all right since the World Cup. Yeah, he hasn't been great. But
do you know what I'd say, Matisse? I think it's an easy one, and I think you've just got to go with Trent. I think he's had a bit better of a time since the World Cup, but purely due to I think if Reece James had stayed fit, he would be the only option for this team because he weren't going to drop form this season. Yeah. He's just not that type of player, and I actually believe the conversation between Reece and Trent is a lot closer than what Liverpool fans like to admit. That doesn't mean that Trent's a bad player, that's just more in the light of what I hold Reece James. I think he's fantastic, and it really, like, these right-backs do remind me of, like, the old-school midfielders of the Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard debate, whereas now we've got these players with such technical ability, such well-roundedness in the game in terms of the shooting and the passing. crossing as well. Like Reece James and Trent are having their own little battle. So if he was fit, I'd go with him. But Trent's the only option for me.
Yeah, and I think we're going to find ourselves a lot of times in this conversation saying nobody's really on form, so we just go with someone.
This is why I'm thinking I might do all right. I might be able to bullshit my way through this.
Now this is where these positions here, the centre backs, is where
shut up.
I'm gonna fight.
Shut up.
I'm gonna fight.
Shut up. Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva. Straight away.
Okay.
Straight. And also Trevor Chalobah, in my opinion.
Fuck off, lad. He looks like he's out the Ants movie. He looks like he's out the Ants movie. We're not putting him in our team, lads. Matisse, if we're gonna have co-managership of this team, if we're going into a Champions League final, I am not having the star man of the Ants movie put in my team.
Bro,
not a chance.
Van Dijk's not been good this season. I've been watching him. He can't go in. He can't. On form, he can't go in, bro. Trevor Chalobah was arguably Chelsea's best centre back before the World Cup. He was really good. And this is on form. And Chelsea have conceded less goals this season in the Premier League as well than Liverpool. Just slightly less, 4 goals less. You guys have scored way more goals, way more. You scored 34, we scored 22. So, but trust me when I say Trevor Chalobah this season, even now last game when he came in at right back, very good. On form, he's been very, very impressive. And Thiago Silva as well. Koulibaly's been awful.
Fine. What formation are we going with?
4-3-3. I think that makes sense. It's what we both play. I'm sorry, I had to stick up for Trevor. I have to.
I've exhausted all my options. I had Nathaniel Deeney Van Phillips in my armour, and then I thought, nah.
Yeah, Matip's been awful recently.
Yeah. He doesn't ever look the same when Van Dijk's not starting him, Matip. But when Matip plays next to Van Dijk, I think he plays better than him when he plays next to him.
Are you worried about your centre backs at all? Because obviously recent form, they've been quite error prone and positioning wise, they've been dodgy for goals. Brighton, Brentford, like Konate had a little mistake as well against Brentford, I think it was. But I'm pretty sure he'll be fine. But maybe the other two as they get into their 30s. Are you worried about that?
It all comes from the midfield, doesn't it? You defend as a team, not just as a back line. And, that's what Thomas Tuchel done really well. He got the team to defend well. And, here's the thing. You can blame individuals. Like, Trent should never be in some of the positions that he's put in. And, if you see previous eras of right-backs who were good defenders, and definitely good defenders, in those same positions, you tend to notice a similar result. Like, a lot of the time, the only difference was they never got put in that position as much as Trent has been in this season. That's the only difference. It's very hard to defend someone one-on-one. I don't think people understand, especially when you're coming up against the best wingers in the world, especially now that teams have the flexibility to go and spend 30 million on a winger, even if you're a bottom half team. So... The point is that systematically we've not been good enough. We haven't rose to the standards nowhere near enough. And when you see him Fabinho just looking like the Brazilian Barney, and then you're looking at Thiago and he's only here once every 3 games, as great as he can play in those 3 games, you need legs. And I always go back to Gini Wijnaldum. I don't think we ever replaced him. I really feel like the like-for-like replacement. I feel like
Tchouaméni's who you wanted.
Someone Tchouaméni. See, this shows that Klopp is trying to identify a defensive midfielder. He just can't choose who gets over the line and who doesn't. That's a completely different role that Liverpool have structured within their club. So, lads, whatever my original point was shit.
But I'm very impressed by Battered, I think, if that's how you say it.
He was good. Midfielder. Very mature performance.
Very, very good performance midweek. You guys look a lot more organised coming into the match. I'm interested to see if Klopp brings that kind of compact structure, maybe more boring for a lot of Liverpool fans who are maybe more...
They were the young players. Klopp's going to go strong against Jews. When I say strong, I mean like on paper strong.
They're tried and tested.
Yeah, but these are the guys... Listen, go on.
I think Battered should be in there, bro. I think based on what I've been seeing from him, I think he's got to be in the team against Chelsea. I really do.
I agree. I agree. He brings an incentive, Matisse. Come on, as humans, it's very natural to come from a poor background, look at Dele Alli. I don't even think it's a bad thing the way his career's gone. It's not ideal for the media headlines, but I think people glorify it much more than they need to. He was a kid who came from probably barely anything, or not much. Either way, he would have had either an element of something to prove or no money. He ended up earning money and all the attention in the world. So those 2 incentives are now gone. He's also been on a pace, yes, trophies-wise, fair enough. But in terms of an actual individual, Dele Alli, when he was younger, was one of the best players in the Premier League at that point. It just got to him, and that's not a bad thing. Very normal for a human to check out when they've achieved everything they feel like they've needed to, what they've desired since they was a kid. And Fabinho's a Premier League and Champions League winner. Same with Virg, same with Salah. I'm not saying sell them, because it's not very financially viable with the contracts that they're on at the moment. But start to replace them and let them know, just because your name's Virgil, just because your name's Salah, does not mean in any way, shape or form that you should be starting for this team.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players I'd drop Matisse, and if you want to ask me for me starting 11 prediction later, feel free, because you'll be surprised.
Yeah, I definitely will, 100%. I'm very intrigued to see what you put out, because it is, for both of us, such a mixed time. We've got about 11 injuries, so I don't actually have much to look at in terms of starting 11, but for you guys,
we've got a few.
Do. Yeah. So we've gone with the centre-backs. Now, a left-back is an interesting one. I mean...
Also, Van Dijk wouldn't have been able to make the team even if he was in the conversation, because he's injured.
He's injured, yeah, exactly. So for players that you have available, Robertson, Tsimikas is both there. We've got Cucurella and Lewis Hall.
It's got to be Robertson.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
He's been like 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Like, he's been steady. He doesn't make any glorifying mistakes. He's got a couple of assists as usual, but not exciting. But I know that Cucurella has been poor. So
yeah, Cucurella has been poor. He's actually now been dropped out of the team for Lewis Hall, who's only 18, and he's actually a midfielder. But the way that the left back role is kind of going these days, a lot of them seem to invert. Zinchenko, Cancelo, they become extra midfielders. So maybe Lewis Hall could actually become a player.
It was a shame for Chilwell. Chilwell really started finding a groove under Tuchel. This is why Tuchel was unlucky. I don't get why people didn't like him. Like, he went through one of the most political stories of recent football in history. Like, this was crazy stuff that Abramovich was going through, and he had right back injuries. Rudiger went. Like, and people forget what he done just before that period. It's mad to me.
It's mad, bro. It's insane. Like, the context is always missing as per usual. It's nuts. But in the end, I guess him and the board just didn't align in terms of their forward thinking for the next, the next few years or next 10 years. Yeah. And when it comes to squad building, he would have always needed a recruitment team. Unfortunately, time doesn't align for that, because the new ownership come in, they don't have the recruitment team ready, and then he's given the option and the gift of what a lot of managers, some managers don't want, but a lot of managers do want. He made it very clear he didn't want that responsibility, but a lot of managers would love to have an open war chest and players to pick out, but you have to then know what you need and what you want, and that's where his recruitment was starting to look a little bit iffy. Gallagher playing in a double pivot, wanting 3 centre backs and none of them being Levi Colwell, Sterling instead of Jesus, So, maybe in terms of building a squad without a recruitment team, he wasn't the right guy to have there. But it's unfortunate. Time always hits someone, at the wrong time, wrong place, I guess, kind of thing. So left back Robertson. We're going over 4-3-3. So who is in that 3-man midfield? If I'm being honest, I'm going to tell you now that my midfielders are not really on form. Jorginho can give us a really, really good performance and then a really poor one. Kovacic can give us more time, actually, recently, pretty poor performances and not performances of the level expected. Gallagher had a great or decent, good game against Palace, but again, it's not consistent. Nor is he playing consistently. Mason Mount's not been playing very well at the moment. And then when we go to your midfield with Henderson, Fabinho, you're going to tell me that as well, they're not playing very well either.
Yeah,
so
no.
I think we should just throw Battered in there. On form. I'm on form. I'm willing to throw him in. If you are. I'm putting him in. I'm impressed, genuinely.
Do you know what I was going to say to you? Like, the only 2 people who I could put forwards is literally Thiago and Javier. But Bakatic, I love Bakatic. I just don't think he's played enough. Like, he has a great game against Wolves, but I think Thiago's the one that he should go in the team. And I don't mind Harvey, but I think he's been a big, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, do you know when someone's at a detriment of someone playing bad?
Yeah.
Like, I think he's been a victim, let's say, of the other people's poor performances. Like, I think that's what Harvey Elliott's been. Because when the team plays well and he's in a unit and a cohesive team, you've seen good performances from him. Like, last season, before he got the injury against Leeds, he was firing on all cylinders, and that's because the team was playing well. So I'm okay with putting all 3 of them in if you want to.
No.
If you want, I think that Harvey deserves more of a shout than Bakatic.
Yeah. I wish Zakaria was fit, but he's not been. He's not fit for this game. Jorginho. N'Golo's not fit. Injured. Jorginho was good against Palace. He won the ball more than anyone else on the pitch. I guess if we're gonna need a sitter, then he's gonna have to go in, because it can't be Fabinho for me. So Jorginho and Thiago, that midfield lacks a lot of legs, but hey, people, it is what it is. It's gonna be a very technical team, I guess. Gonna have to keep possession, and then
I reckon it's Harvey or
Harvey.
That nothing really. Depends what you think about Kovacic.
Kovacic for me doesn't deserve it.
Sam, then
I don't feel like Harvey deserves it either.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't, but do you know what he does though? He deserves it more than Henderson, and he deserves it more than Fabinho. And from the sounds of it with Kovacic, because here's the thing with Harvey, he's been better than those other two midfielders, which he doesn't really need to be. So I'm just trying to suggest that out of a really shit selection of what we've got right now, I don't think it's either Harvey or Bakatic.
Yeah,
really, because I didn't even consider Bakatic, and I actually still don't think we should consider him just with the very little games he's played. But
yeah,
I don't know, lads. I'm happy to go with Harvey from what you told me about your midfield. How's Conor Gallagher done?
Gallagher's was good against Palace, but he doesn't play consistently, and sometimes he's not great. If he's moved into a double pivot, he's been poor. Luckily, he was playing in a three-man midfield, but I don't really want to put him in either.
Should we just say for Harvey Elliott's goal?
Should we just say for Elliott, and then if we think of more players further down the line, then we'll take him back out and throw extra players. But I don't feel like it's going to get any better with the attack. Front three.
I reckon we'll take it here.
Salah's not on form.
No, but he's still more in form than any of your attackers.
Mudryk.
This is what you've got to realise. No, in comparison to Salah's normal standards, he's barely a fucking shadow of that player. But in he's still one of the top scorers. I think he's got like 19 goal contributions this season.
We're talking about this season, yeah. We're talking about this season.
You're like 19 goal contributions for a poor season in January.
Yeah. If we're talking about this season, Salah goes straight in. Yeah, Salah goes straight in on this season. Yeah,
that's the bar he's set. You know, but he's still. I want to emphasise he's been dog shit, and I'd actually drop him for this game because I think he'd be more beneficial off the bench.
Wow.
Because he does nothing in the overall game anyway.
Yeah. It's true.
But I'll explain more on that in the starting 11.
Okay, so Salah goes in.
You've got to put... Nunes isn't available. In fact, is
go.
Nunes available? He's touch and go, isn't he? If he's available, he actually should go in. And I'm not even a big fan of Nunes, but he should go in.
He's been better than our strikers. He's better, even though he's been so chaotic. I call him at the moment. He's expected chaos in my books. That's what I'm looking at him as. But he's scored more goals than Kai. Kai's not been good. Aubameyang's not playing. Fofana's only just joined. Pulisic is injured. Sterling is injured. And they've not been consistent either. Mason Mount is not a front three player, and he's not been good. Mudryk, he's not played. All right, Nunes has to go in. If he's fit, then he goes in. And then left wing.
And then I don't even have a left wing.
Yeah, you don't even have a left. Chamberlain ain't going anywhere near this.
No.
Jota's
I think if Fabio Carvalho was given more of a chance from Klopp, then we could have had a shout. But he doesn't play.
No, he
doesn't play.
He can't go in. Elliot, do you know what? If we're talking about the whole season, Elliot's not even been good really this season, has he?
He's not stood out, but he's not been the worst. Is what I'm saying. Like
we are really screwed.
Oh no, this is why when you say. Do you know what I say? Yeah, people get on this before we started this, right? I said to Matisse, we can do a bit of a preview as well if you want, lad, because obviously I don't know how far we're going to get in this. But
you know what? I think we just throw Mudryk in there because he's on form in the Ukrainian league.
I'm very alright with that. Alright with that. Let's put Mudryk in there. At least the team looks
nice if he plays.
He hasn't. We don't know if he's shit, so we've got to put him in.
And Elliot gets to play in the 10. So instead of the 3, because I think he's better as a 10, isn't he? A lot of Liverpool fans saying he's better in the 10 and not.
I haven't heard Mount once for anything.
No. Well, not on form. Not on form. He's been poor. He's been really poor. Wow. He had a good spell when Potter first came in for like 2-3 games, and then it was gone again. So he can't go in. Like really, he shouldn't even be in the starting 11 in terms
fair
of
play. Do you know what's mad? It's because you never, even before when you were like naming off the players, you never even mentioned Mason Mount. I was thinking, is he trying to save him for the attack? Has he been playing attack a bit? But apparently not.
So Mudryk goes in there because he's new. Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm happy with that.
And he's in form in the Ukrainian league, and he got a standing ovation at the Santiago Bernabeu. That's better than any of our players have done.
Yeah, at the Santiago Bernabeu.
Yeah, he got a standing ovation for Shakhtar this season.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So that immediately he gets in for that.
Yeah. We'll say that. Yeah, I actually thought that was a great answer from you. To be honest, I think that's a great solution because we genuinely have no left wingers.
Yeah. So let's as we come to a close, let's actually get to your team.
Okay.
Because I can't wait to hear what you're going to tell me in terms of.
See what I would do, because I just want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see players with agency. I just want to see players who are going to show a little bit more fight. Now, listen, realistically, you couldn't make all the changes under the sun. So what I'd do is Alisson in goal, Kanate, Gomez, because I believe Matip's not available. If Matip's available, I'll put Matip over Gomez. Trent right back, Robertson left back, advance into the midfield. I think I would go with Battered. I would, because I just think Fabinho especially as being just a little bit extra poor. It's just not being a fan.
He had a bad calendar year 2022, to be honest, didn't he?
Exactly. So what I would also now go with, and people are going to probably disagree with the next choice I make, I'd go with Thiago and Henderson. And the only reason why I'd say Henderson, because you can't choose a team solely off form. You do have to try and discover a little bit of balance when it comes to selection. So the reason why I go with Henderson is because he's just a different type of player to both Thiago and Battered.
Yeah.
He's going to bring a little bit more legs, and if not him, I'd put in Milner, because purely on the premise that he's actually, although old and slow, he's still at least trying to put the yards in, and he knows the agency's there, you get what I'm saying, and he knows he's on the other side, so he's actually always got an element of something to prove. He's like, you think I'm an old bastard, so go ahead then, sweet. Whereas Fabinho thinks he's in his prime, and, you know, you can see he's kind of riding a little bit comfy at the moment with the lack of competition, whereas Milner, he's probably still thinking in his own competitive mindset. Let me fight for me place, you know what I mean? Let me see if I can, how long can I keep this going for? So whoever's got the more incentive out of Milner and Henderson, I'd go with. Because again, just for the balance of the midfield. Because I could say Carvalho or Harvey Elliott, but we've got Battered. So moving to the forwards. If Nunes is fit, you've got to go with Nunes. I've not been a fan of him. I don't think he's the one to win us leagues and Champions Leagues. Only time will tell. That being said, I do think he's been one of our best players. But again, like, that's just due to a poor bunch. So him. Right wing's controversial, right? A lot of people would disagree with me on this.
We're going to go with the young wonder kid.
Ben Doak, lads.
I've heard a lot about him. I want to see him. He's not starting. He didn't start in midweek.
It's not one of those players that I'm trying to overhype or not either. It's just when he comes on, he shows a little bit of confidence. He's good on the ball. His ball control's sensational. Good decision making as well, which is good to see. He comes from Celtic's academy, so fairly decent background, and just and he's only made 10 to 15 minute cameos, and he's got no goals or assists, but you still watch him and you think he's influencing the game. He's getting the ball forward, and I like those type of players, Matisse, because if Salah's only going to be here for one moment of the game, and to Liverpool fans who are getting fuming, James, why aren't you starting Salah? Hear me out for 1 minuscule second. I'll do it in my London accent so people actually understand me, So, how about this? Mohamed Salah, right? He's the type of guy who he will do one thing in the whole entire game. If you go off of recent form, Matisse.
Yo, this accent is mad.
No, but Matisse, here's the thing, right? So, he's done nothing on recent form besides moments. Whereas Ben Doak comes on, influences the game, moves the ball very nicely. You feel me, blood? Like, he's actually a decent player who you can use throughout the entirety of the game. So, in conclusion, blood, why not go ahead and put Mohamed Salah off the bench and hope for the best? Because, and last thing, Mohamed Salah's best game this season came against Rangers, blood. Guess what happened in that game, Matisse?
What?
Came on as a substitution, my G, and he came on and scored a hat-trick, brother. He hasn't done that since, and he wasn't doing that before. So, let's go ahead, Ben Doak over Salah, bring Salah on with 30 minutes to go. I rest my case.
That accent was absolutely unbelievable.
I feel like I couldn't have explained that any better than what I just did as well. So
that accent was
if people disagree
good and so on point. I was gonna actually respond to you in a Scouse accent, but I'm not ready. I'm not quite ready there. So I'm gonna practice.
A for effort. Yeah, say can of Coke for me.
Can of Coke. Can of Coke.
Do it again.
Can of Coke.
It weren't what I was expecting. Like, I thought you were going to do the exaggerated Scouse where it's like, can of Coke.
Can of Coke. See, I haven't been to Liverpool before, so I haven't actually been able to take in. The only actually way I get my Scouse accent is from your videos. That's the only place I've actually taken it from. So I need to go to Liverpool.
If you want to learn a little trick for some words, so say for instance a can of Coke, right? Yeah. A lot of people go can of Coke. And it's good to have the K, but they're going like you've got to do like a hiss, like a cat, like. Can you do that, Matisse?
Can of Coke.
Not can of Coke. It's just Coke. Just Coke. Coke. Let it. Do you know like when you let audio fade out in editing? It's kind of just like that. Just like Coke.
Can of Coke.
Coke. Yeah, there we go, Matisse.
Okay.
Matisse, come on, man. Come on, Matisse.
That is a curse for
That's the
bad
one right there,
results.
bruv.
What we just did there is a curse for bad results, but it is what it is.
Spot me, my brother. We're in the shithole anyway, my G.
You know,
we might as...
Saeed did that with Turkish on the Big Six. Obviously, you guys have been doing the Big Six as well.
I remember.
And Palace going to get the draw. So I'm sure something bad's going to come from that. Probably a draw, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Get clipped up by Skullfuggery.
Can't get much worse.
Exactly. We have nowhere else to go. Finally, left wing. What about left wing? Chamberlain season? Actually, Gakpo left wing.
Mudrich.
No.
Oh yeah, my team. Sorry, I thought we went back to.
Were you hiding?
Oh yeah, left wing. Yeah, Gakpo.
Yeah.
He needs games. He needs minutes. We haven't got Diaz or Jota. Fucking hell, forgot about Gakpo then. Yeah, well I'll go with Gakpo.
That's Gakpo's actual position, isn't it? When he's playing up front, it doesn't look right.
He's not a striker. He scored goals or a few goals for PSV in that position, but it weren't. You can tell it's just not his position. He's a left winger, and this is a much different kettle of fish to the Eredivisie. So left wing, please.
100%. Finally, score predictions. I've gone with a 2-1 Chelsea win. I don't really believe that.
I'll go the other way.
Put it out there. Yeah.
I'll go the other way. 2-1 Liverpool win, and just hope someone finds 2 goals. Let's hope Kepa gives us 1, and then we'll just.
I have no idea what we're getting our 2 goals from either, to be honest.
Salah will get substituted on, and it'll be a James Redmond masterclass.
There we go. Listen, I one thing I know Klopp is not going to do is drop Salah, but that is
not a chance.
That is a proper mad the comments.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Even if you disagree with me, you've got to understand me logic behind it.
I understand completely. I'm actually for it. I want to see the Wonder Kid, to be honest.
I could be proven wrong, but Salah's not working. He's just popping up in moments, which he could do off the bench.
Yeah, maybe some people would say move him to the striker position. I don't know, but
True.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
But then that still leaves the right wing position open. So bring in Zoa as well.
Bring in the young kid, exactly. Bro, let them know where to find you. It's been a pleasure, man. Absolutely.
James Redmond TV. I'm sorry I haven't shut up throughout this show, so you probably haven't had a guest who's interrupted you as much as me. So I do apologise if the audience got irritated by that. But no, thank you for getting me on your channel, James Redmond TV. If you just want to go and subscribe, and this was boss, mate. We need to do more.
100%, guys. Make sure you go and check him out on his channel. He's pumping out content. I'm seeing it. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm following the Liverpool games at the moment on the watch along. He's pumping out content a lot, and people are like, "Yo, I've seen in the comments for you and me," and they're like, "Yo, you're putting out too much content. What's wrong with you?" I was like, "Excuse me. What I would like is a thank you." Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and it.
99% of people appreciate the amount of content we're putting out right now, and there's always that one person that's like, "You need to go outside." I'm like, "I'll go outside after the content's up." All right.
It's just about trying to find solutions and I feel like when I post, we can try and find a common ground with the audience and just try and find answers for the monstrosity that we're seeing at the moment. Lads, it's crazy.
Monstrosity is what it is. Both teams can't defend, but both teams, we have no idea where the goals are coming from.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, make sure you subscribe. Of course, James is also on Big Six Extra as well. I'm loving that show. I'm finally get to actually watch Big Six and not be on it.
I know, I was going to say, lad, like, because I did think that. I was like, yous are all just like us, just content creators, but yous don't realise how when yous get together, that creates something very, very, like, magical, you know what I mean? Like, it's a really great show. I think the best show on YouTube by far, until the Big Six Extra came, so now we're going to take it over you.
So, this is what I'm enjoying, man. I'm watching
SmackDown versus Raw. I'm actually going to speak to Turkish about maybe giving us our own unique name. Like, it's like I don't know, like, once the show's more built in and viewership has now gone over, I really do believe that we should, like, try and do, like, a SmackDown versus Raw thing, show versus show.
Can you imagine?
And then we do, like, drafts.
Foot golf. We need to do foot golf as well, all together.
Yeah. But don't you reckon it'd be cool? Say we've got 12 like really established people on the panel. Yeah. Don't you think it'd be cool to like do drafts sometimes? Because don't people want to see like Cams and Grizz go at it? For instance, exactly. Do you get what I mean? Wouldn't it be quite cool to do like a draft? I don't know. That'd be funny.
No, that's actually a dope idea. The only thing that annoys me is that I've seen on StreamYard the max people they'll take is 10. Which is so annoying.
Nah, I don't mean get everyone in at once. I don't mean get everyone in at once. I mean, like, it's still 2 separate sides, but, like, the way some SmackDown fighters will go to Raw and vice versa, that'd be funny.
No, it'd be we definitely got to do a foot golf, I think. We've got to plan that, because that would be insane. All of us, I don't even know how that would work, but it would be jokes.
We need to do those face-to-faces as well. We need to do, like, face-to-face content. That'd be sick.
100%. So, guys, make sure you subscribe, man. So much content coming out from the both of us. And until next time, I mean, God knows what happens in this game. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a humbler.
It's gonna be football is a humbler. Do you know what I'm saying? In a bit, people. Peace. Come on.